The F8C Lightning is out and Star Citizen has changed the meta. Even though the ship is incredibly powerful, it doesn't mean a free victory. You still have to understand some of the key components in combat, such as neutralization and knife fighting. For those of you that are familiar with these terms, make sure to check out the description below where you'll find a link to my playlist of a chronological combat guide to get you up to speed. If you're new to my videos, make sure to check the scroll bar, as I like to chapter and categorize my videos to make it easier for you to find. And before we get started, I'd like to cover the pros and cons of the F8C Lightning. For one, it has incredible firepower. A careless light fighter can be blasted away in just 2 mag reloads. For you to beat this thing in a light fighter requires an enormous amount of skill. You really have to understand how to control distance and how to stay out of the target's nose. For cons, you'll probably lose some friends. Using the F8C Lightning is like playing Monopoly against your family. Someone's gonna win and someone's gonna cry. So I want to cover how I like to use the F8C. For those that haven't seen my videos before, I mostly focus on PvP, so I'm going to use some terminology that I'm familiar with and I've been teaching in this channel for a while now. If you haven't seen my tutorials before, as I mentioned earlier in this video, make sure to check out the video description for a link to the playlist. That said, the main thing I'm going to be using is called Pip Neutralization. Pip Neutralization, to me, is bringing your ship's pip on top of the enemy craft. I'll link a video above for you if you've never seen this before. This means that on the X and Y axis, we have achieved a neutral stance, and we're able to now close the gap between us and the opponent by using forward or back, as long as you're facing the enemy craft. Another important component is the circle strafe, and this is just doing a circle in front of the opponent. This maneuver is very effective when you're over 600 meters away, and the effective range changes depending on the ship size. With all that out of the way, let's get started. So we're in a 2v1 here, and the first thing I kind of did is try to separate them. Try not to get pinched. So here I'm kind of just trying to push away from him, but keeping him within range. I realize he's using ballistic cannon, so I kind of just keep circle strafing to avoid some of that damage due to the slower projectile. As you see here that I keep going in the circle pattern, those bullets will keep going around me rather than hit my ship. Pulling distance, trying to see where the other guy is at. Once he merges with me and I see him fly by, that's when I take this opportunity to start closing in on the other guy. Again, because of his slower projectile speed, I keep doing the circle approach on him as I try to keep hounding damage as I get closer and closer. Here I'm going to try to neutralize a little bit, bring the pip closer to him, get tighter in, start merging on him. He's out of shields. I do a hard circle strafe here, due because of the other guy behind me. And now that I see he's trying to turn tail, I completely neutralize here by up strafing and go forward towards him. I'm hard boosting to stay on his back and stay as close as possible. Here I just charge up. There's no reason to rush, just take it easy, make sure you stay on him. Keep applying damage, neutralize it. And there he goes. Easy kill. Go around, turn around, and get ready for the next guy. So he didn't do a good proper job of neutralizing too well, so he's pretty far back. I was too flat there and got some easy shots, but it's okay. Back to the circle here. Staying evasive, getting in that circle, keeping the distance around 800, 900 meters where the circle is most effective. Because he's stationary, he's not orbiting, and I'm doing the orbit, it's easy to cluster on him and easy to get shots while he's having a hard time doing the same to me. Here we're just face to face. I'm just going to push in, neutralize a little bit. He starts to look away. This is when I start to neutralize and start zooming in his direction to not let him escape. See, I keep that pip almost right directly on top of him. If I see it shifting a little bit, I'll try to readjust by doing up and left strafe here. Here's just a full up strafe, but he blew up with the last shot that hit him. And just a little finishing touch. The second fight was in BR, and I was up against an arrow. Show you how to kind of deal with arrows and light fighters. Now their goal should be to keep around 800, 900 and do a circle strafe to do some damage, but he makes the mistake of constantly trying to apply the circle at close range. So here I just do a quick up strafe, push into him, keep it as neutral as I possibly can, and keep forcing him in front of me. If he pushes into me like that, I'm going to have a hard time, so I just blow through forward, go ahead, create some distance, and try it again. He's trying to circle here. I'm just saving my ammo, seeing what he's up to. He's keeping his distance. I'm like, okay, let's recharge a little bit, get some shield up. Go ahead and start up strafing here, pushing into the pip, neutralize it, keep it flat. Back into an up strafe to keep it. And again, see, these guys are very fragile, so all you need to do is hit a couple. Right here, just keep trying to push that neutral, putting the up strafe thrusters. He makes the mistake of turning tail too early and letting me get some free shots instead of getting the distance before trying to run away. Back on the merge here, he's doing a circle. I'm trying to push the neutral. Straight to neutral. I'm kind of low on thrust here, so you have to be careful. You need a lot of boost to kind of deal with light fighters. Once you're out, you kind of have to get some distance, get some boost back, because boost is your power in this thing. See, I'm long distance, he's trying to gain shots, circle strafe still works. He's not going to land much at this distance. He's got to push the gap, he's too far away. I'm starting to maintain neutral here because I want him to get closer. He's coming in flat, so it's an easy shot. I'm up strafing to the right here, getting that neutral, pushing up strafe right into it so the barrel roll doesn't work. I noticed he's trying to push away, so again, I'm just boosting into him here with up strafe. Keeping it neutral, chasing him down, getting right on top of him and applying as much damage as I can. I overthrew it here, so I've done a shitload of damage, so all I have to do now is regen. Eventually remerge, and he's behind me. As you can see here, he's going to be trying to apply that circle strafe. And I'm just trying to cut his circle. Neutral again, trying to force the neutral. Looking for an opportunity, here it is. I up strafe into him, try to flatten that out. Hard up into the left here, going straight into just pure left. And I had to max my G's out here just to finish him, but it was just enough to finish the fight. My turn in the light fighter, and I'll be using the Gladius, trying to stay close, stay out of the firing arc of the F8C. This is someone that I can't really slip around, or else I'm going to get punished really hard and get taken out by the superior firepower. I start the fight off with kind of keeping range, kind of dictating, trying to understand his flight style a little bit before I commit to anything. I'm also out of boost here, so really I should be trying to regenerate that, and I noticed my shield was down, so I regenerated that as well. Now just work on my boost, try to get it up before I try to really do anything. Is not having any boost when you're in a light fighter against an F8C is basically a death sentence if they know what they're doing. Once I've gotten all my stats back and I feel good about it, realize we're kind of out of the zone, so I start pushing back and we go back into the merge. You see I start to neutralize here, but once he gets close and I feel like I don't have the circle, I'll just down strafe to extend the fight and stay safe. The more pip separation and speed you have, the harder it's going to be for those lasers to connect. So here it goes, we begin here and we start doing the circle strafe. We're at 1.7, so if he's not doing a circle strafe, I can land these, but if he is, I'll miss every single shot. Here at the circle, you see him missing a lot because of that spin. See that 700, 800 meter range, I can land shots while he can't. So I just take advantage of that just to pucker his shields a little bit. Luckily he ran out of firepower there, or he would have hit me hard there. I was kind of flat. Back into that circle to stay safe. You see those rounds just shooting short of me. And again, this has to do with the constant change of velocity in the distance. There I did a little bit of down strafe to duck under those shots, a little bit of up strafe, and I'm just keeping it safe. Again, if you're fighting, or if you're in the F8C here, what he should be doing is trying to neutralize my pip and bringing the fight to me. Meanwhile, I'm trying to expand the pip and only neutralize when I feel he doesn't have the firepower or the stability to land the shots and allow me to get closer to him. If I can't get within 100 meters, then I just keep the distance. You can see just a couple shots hit, and that takes a good amount of shield off, so you really got to be careful with these things. You got to look for good opportunities to push in. Here I just try to get my shield back and bring the fight to him a little bit more. But he's not having a good management of neutralization. He's kind of playing it like a light fighter, which allows me to just kind of keep dictating when this fight happens or doesn't happen. Once I see a good opportunity right here, I go ahead, lunge in, try to lock into him and push into him. I neutralize and quickly change direction so he doesn't get those shots on. And once I'm right on top of him now, if he's out of boost here, it's going to be really hard for him to separate. Just don't get locked into only doing circles around him. This is a little bit of knife fighting where you're constantly crossing over the pip to get closer and closer little by little. You can see as soon as he starts getting his nose on, I just kind of change direction just a little bit. But I'm running out of boost here, so I have to decide, can I stick on him or do I have to pull out? So here I believe I'm going to dictate this and pull out. You'll see the circle strafe as I back out, get safe again. I did a lot of hull damage here. It's okay to reset the fight, get my boost back, get everything back, and go from there. What he should have been doing there was, as soon as he believed I was going to try to run away and escape from the fight, he should have been neutralizing and pushing into my ship, now allowing me to create that gap. And sorry about this, I don't know what happened, my video froze. All I did was neutralize, get tight again, and end it. I have one more fight for you, and that's going to be inside the arrow. For this fight, due to the size of this arena and the fact that we kept going outside of the zone, we just agreed to both fight without shields on. After a little bit of circling, since I'm close enough, I go ahead and neutralize and try to lock into Arcane here. I keep the pip neutral, try to stay tight, and stay nice and close to the ship. Once I feel that I can't maintain that proximity, this is where I decide to just back up a little bit. And that's exactly what I do here. I feel like I don't have enough boost or enough speed to get tight, so I just reverse a little bit and go back to my corkscrew. Still wearing him down, recharging my boost so I can keep up the aggression. As you can see, it's hard for him to land here, though he does clip a few here and there. Once I feel I have a nice closing distance, I neutralize and get close again. just keeping him outside of the nose at all points. As soon as I start seeing that nose flick right around, I try to swap my direction unless I have an angle where I can sustain an orbit around him and keep his nose off me. You'll see these quick snaps that he does trying to get his nose on me, but I see it coming and I try to sway around the corner of the ship. Now at this distance I can't really push back in, so this is where I have to lock in the mid-range and go back to the corkscrew. That said, he tried to push into me, which allowed me to blow past him and get my nose back around to finish it. In short, light fighters can compete with the F8C. You just have to be patient, and you really have to understand some of the fundamentals that are needed to control the distance and control the speed of the fight. Power management is also crucial, as you want to maintain your boost as efficiently as possible. And the main goal of a light fighter versus an F8C is starving it of boost and then abusing it once it doesn't have the power to take you out. That said, I think there's two things that Star Citizen needs to do to properly balance this ship. For one, the top speed should not be higher than the Arrow. I think it should fall more in line with the Gladius. I believe at the moment it is a confirmed bug, but currently the shield works as the old system where it has a 4-way protection. I believe they just need to change it to the 2-way system, just as we have on the Warden or the Scorpius. That's going to be it for this video, guys, and as always, I'll catch you on the next one.